Hello, my friends. So I'm going to go ahead and take my time with this one because I speak to a lot of people who get really frustrated when their manifestations or what they're visualizing isn't coming to fruition. So the reason why you may not be manifesting yet, which you will, don't worry, everything that you want, by the way, you're always manifesting what you need, but it's an emotional thing because your emotional body is directly linked to your vibrational reality. So if you get too fixated on the physical stuff that you're trying to manifest, you're going to suffer greatly because you have too much of an attachment. So let me just take a moment and really delineate how this manifestation process works. And obviously keep in mind that sometimes it's a timing thing. But right now I want to solely focus on the mechanics of it all. There are two parts to manifesting. The first part is through concentrated focus, right? If I focus on something, then I start to energize it. I'm directing my energy to it. What's that saying? Where your attention goes, energy flows. So that's precisely what's happening. When you use your imagination, you can really start to laser in on how you want to feel. See, a lot of people make the mistake, and I see this all the time, where they think that what they're visualizing is the thing that's going to come to fruition. And it might be, but then they get too attached to the outcome. And it's like, ooh, mistake. You have it flipped. Your imagination and your ability to visualize should be utilized to gauge how you feel inside. That's it. And then, because then you're dealing with the emotional reality, right? So don't use your imagination in hopes of manifesting that specific thing. No. I'll give you an example. Close your eyes. Do it. Do it, boo. Close your eyes. When you think of a beach and white sand and hot weather, how do you feel? Does it feel more like you? Or does skiing in the cold feel more like you? So right away, you can tell what's more in alignment with your true self. Then the key is not to energize that visualization. It's turn up the volume. You have to turn up the volume on how you feel when you picture yourself in that cold or hot weather. Oh, wow, I feel more like myself. Boom. So you're essentially expanding, if you will, into that greater part of yourself. Okay, your body is tiny. Your soul is huge. So you basically want to expand into that greater part of yourself. All right, just by focusing on the emotions, and you can pack your imagination with desire and, oh, I feel more like myself. You basically have to crank the volume up on how you feel inside and then unattach from the outcome. Yeah, you don't want to be attached to the outcome. You just want to keep pumping up the volume. I always think of Reebok pumps. Remember those shoes? Pump, 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 pump how you feel. That's the idea. Now, the second part has to do with, this is really important, with getting along with the future version of yourself that already has what you want and what you desire, right? Because time is an illusion. It's all happening simultaneously. So your future self already has what you want. Now you have to open up into it. You have to expand your heart. You have to expand your field of energy into that greater part of yourself, which includes that future version of you, right? When we're dealing with time, even though time isn't real, it is real in the sense that there's continuity on this planet. We're like writing a book. We are authoring our lives. And so all of us want to have a cool story by the time we die. So there's going to be a sense of linearity or continuity in this physical reality, but time isn't real. But as soon as you ask for something, it's yours, right? It's yours. And the reason why you suffer in the interim of getting what you want is because you're releasing all of your attachments, right? You're undoing your control. You're untangling all your internal knots so that you can become one with that future version of yourself. So you basically have to harmonize with your future self. How do you do this? You have to start being acutely aware of when you are defensive or when you are reactive or when you don't let people into your heart because you're afraid of being hurt. You're either pushing away love or you're receiving love. Remember that. All right? You're either pushing away love or you're receiving love. Sometimes I'll be live with someone on Instagram, and as soon as they jump on screen, they're like, oh my God, I look horrible. You're pushing away love when you say that. You're feeding into insecurity, right? If you want to be in a secured relationship in the future, you got to drop all that. You got to get out of your own way. You have to delete all the corrupt files in your system. You have to defrag your system. Get rid of all the stuff that's taking up space, that's preventing you from harmonizing with your future self. Is this making sense? So think of it like this. Right now, you're warring with the future version of you that you want to become because you're resisting it. You want to be it, but you're resisting it, right? So you say you want to no longer work at your job and you want to live your calling or you want to live your purpose, but then when you're at the job that you're currently at, you complain. You're in a resistant energy. You're pushing away the very thing that you say you want. In order to finally leave that job and live your purpose, you have to surrender to the job that you're currently at. You have to be in an attitude of gratitude. You have to open up your heart, because when you do that, you're releasing your resistance. Same with relationships. Same with relationships. If you go on a date with someone and then you start to get avoidant, you're pushing away love, right? Now, this is going to be pretty deep, but when you open up your heart, you're allowing everything that you've painted in your non-physical reality through the pumping up of your emotions, through your visualizations. When you open up your heart, that paint is able to seep into this reality. That's when things start to materialize. That's when things start to manifest, because it's through your open heart that you allow everything that you created through focus in the non-physical world to trickle into this reality. But that requires an open heart. If you always have walls up, if you always get reactive, you're pushing away love, meaning you're pushing away the thing that you say that you want, right? Because you're holding on to your old ways. You're scared, right? You got your tail between your legs, like, I want this universe, but I'm not ready to step into it. So the idea is, part one, every day when you meditate, and don't skip a day, you've got to be completely dedicated to really energizing the thing that you can't see, which is a feeling. It's a feeling. It can be that you're going to be a superstar. Nothing wrong with that. It could be that you're going to be a famous actress. Nothing wrong with that. But the main thing you want to focus on is how you feel. Do you feel more like yourself? And then can you turn up the volume on that? Can you turn up the level of intensity on that within yourself? Right? Do that every day, because the physical world is just an illusion. It's illusory. So don't feed into the physical world. When you get too hung up in what's going on in your physical world, you're missing the entire point. You're a creator. In order to create, you have to turn your gaze inward. You have to energize these non-physical realities, right? It's like art that you can't see yet. It's like a sculpture that you're sculpting every day that you can't see yet. And then part two is when you go out into the world after you've meditated or before you've meditated, can you keep your heart wide open so that what you created inside can start to trickle into this world? Right? Now you're getting along with your future self. You're not resisting your future self. You're leaning into it. You're not afraid anymore. You're saying yes to love. You're treating your friends to dinner because you're saying yes to wealth. You're saying yes, 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 yes. And everything up here, right? It's not really up here, but everything in here, these non-physical realities start to pour out like a bucket of paint. And that becomes your new reality. I love you.